Welcome everybody, I'm Burner. This is The Walking Dead Road to Survival, and we are about to jump into a new edition of Stuff and Things. Before I get into it, I do want to make a quick disclaimer. I'm probably going to be using some harsh language. I normally try to keep the language pretty PG, but more than likely it's going to come out. So if you're playing this open and you have kids around or something and you don't want them to hear cursing and things like that, might be a good idea to wait till later or maybe just put on the headphones. But I just wanted to let you guys know so you didn't get surprised. Let's get into it. I've kind of been working on a number of videos and trying to get those finished, but something happened tonight and kind of jumped this video to the top of the to-do list, and I wanted to get put up there. If you watch any of my activity on Reddit, you'll see that I put a post up there, and I said today was the day that Scopely committed suicide, and that was probably a bit strong. What I will say is that we are all witnessing the death of a game right now. Let me explain. After midnight, I kind of went in and was working on my coins like I tell you guys to always do, be diligent with it. And I was running some scavenger missions, which I always tell you guys to keep a lookout for because it's a good source of coins. And I noticed that where there's smoke, the mission where there's smoke was not returning sort of the amounts I'm used to. I wasn't seeing any coins at all. And then another strange thing I saw was that like world energy refills were popping up. And I've been running this mission since Scavenger Camp debuted, and I've never seen it return a world energy refill. And I got 0 coins in a few of these world energy refills, but for the most part the bonuses weren't paying out. So I went and looked on the Scopely forums, and sure enough, nobody's getting coins on this mission anymore. I looked around a bit and saw that I guess recently somebody was on there and sort of boasting about how much free coins they've been pulling in by basically using upwards of 50 regions and doing nothing but running this mission and just kind of boasting about all the free stuff they've been getting because of that. And that's what has brought me to this realization. Scopely did this to a level that is one of the first you get. It's the shortest possible mission to get coins, which makes it the most farmable, and it's available to people first starting out. But they mentioned nowhere that this was going to happen. They've mentioned nowhere that this did happen, and yet it's evident to anybody that knows about this mission and uses it regularly. And it has brought me basically to the conclusion that never has it been more clear that Scopely's aim is to make this game pay is the only way to win. In the past we've seen them limit our opportunities at coins. We've seen them take away, replaying through the roadmap on different regions to get coins. We've seen the varying availabilities of videos and offers from time to time, but also just geographical regions in the world. Not everybody getting the same access. We've seen the very tiny amount of coins you get from leveling, and for those of us who've been playing the game a while, who are done with the world stages, who have hit level 100 in leveling, it's further limited our ways to the coins. But it's not about the coins. I cannot say that enough. It is not about the coins. Sure, this mission is a big part of my game. I tell you guys about all the scavenger missions. Being the shortest one, it's the one that I tend to do the most because it does have such a short cooldown time, and it's gonna reduce my coin income. It is. It's gonna make it take me a little bit longer to do big pulls, but it's not really gonna hurt anything I do in the game. I'm still get a good amount of coins from offers and videos. But again, it's not about the coins. It's about the fact that in the face of blatant cheating in the game that we're seeing, from using third-party apps where people are boosting stats of characters, where they're boosting performance in events, where you're seeing them do ridiculous amounts of reward numbers or event actions, to the huge cheating with the armory that we've all seen. And yeah, that's cheating. If you do anything that stops your communication to the servers to hide some sort of action, that's dishonest. That's cheating. And with these things that people have been in, up in arms and crying out about, we've seen that Scopely has been depressingly slow to respond, if at all. So instead of addressing these things, Scopely has decided to change a normally functioning component of the game that has been around since Scavenger Camp debuted. Nobody has complained about this. Instead, they've directly limited the ability of us straight up players who use every advantage we can in the game, who grind our way to get as much as we can out of the game to stay competitive with top spenders. They've changed that without even communicating it. Check the patch notes. Nowhere is it gonna say that they changed that, or at least at the moment it doesn't. Nowhere is there a reason why they changed it. Yes, there does seem to be a small handful of people, like I mentioned, that are taking this to a ridiculous level. If you go to the Scopely forums, you can, see the post I'm talking about of the guy who's, just basically boasting and, trying to get his rocks off by showing how much he's, used this one mission and the fact that coins go between regions. But let me say this. That's not cheating. That is a normal functioning part of the game. In fact, it's sort of impressive in the effort it takes, in the time it requires to set these things up. And if that's not clear, I want to issue a challenge. Everybody who's hearing this, go out and just set up 5. Set up 5 regions that you don't plan on playing, that you just want to farm. Go out, upgrade your town to the point that you can open up a scavenger hunt high enough, or scavenger camp high enough to get Where's the Smoke. Then level up a team that is strong enough to meet the requirements of completing the bonus. Do that 5 times and let me know if it was worth your time. But you know what? Even doing that, even not cheating, even getting as many coins as this guy is claiming he's gotten, it hasn't broke the game. It's not broke the game. You haven't heard anybody complain about these players. Like I said, this mission has been around as long as the scavenger camp has been around. It is not breaking the game. Nobody's complained. Nobody's complained about this as a form of cheating. It's so frustrating. In the past 8 or 10 years, that we've seen microtransactions and games like mobile games come around. For the most part, extra revenue has been an exchange. It's been an exchange where money equals time. If you want to speed up progress, if you wanted to get an item faster, you could pay money to shorten that time. And then slowly later on it became microtransactions to get exclusive things, like items or skins that sort of gave you a cool factor, but they didn't change the gameplay, and for the most part, they didn't give the spender a large advantage. But with Scopely, it's evident money does not equal time. Money doesn't equal time at all, because regardless of the amount of time you put in, you cannot equal the things that they offer for money. Money for Scopely is a different gameplay entirely. Money equals the best characters regardless of time. Look at War. War isn't about the best team. It isn't about the best teamwork or the best strategies. At the top, most of the higher factions are fairly competitive as far as their teams. And at that point, you know what War becomes about? Who's willing to continue coining the longest? Who's going to be the first person to look and break and be like, you know what, 500 coins a match is ridiculous. I don't want to do this anymore. I've spent enough this match. That's who wins. And in a lot of the spending, in saying that, I just don't get. I'll never be somebody that tells people, how to spend their money or they shouldn't spend their money on X, Y, or Z. I'm not going to do that. Spend your money however you want to say, however you want. But what I will say is, I don't get the point. At a certain level, I don't get the point. If you want to spend $1,000 to get a character that's going to be new for a week and that you won't lose, I'm looking at you, Killshot. Cool story, bro. Cool story. But if you want to, do it. But what's the point? At that point, it isn't even about gameplay. It's just, I don't know. It's not. And, unfortunately, maybe it's all mobile games now. Maybe it's all games now. But that doesn't make me want to stop playing games. I love gaming. My first system was an Atari. I'm in that generation where I came through the ranks with, console gaming and being a gamer. Like, that's who I am at my core. Gaming's something that I will do until I'm physically unable to do it. What it does do, though, when the focus is so blatantly just about money and not about the gameplay and not about the experience, it drains my interest. And that's all this game really has going for it at the end of the day, is its interest. And it's in an interesting skin of The Walking Dead, which is a world that most of us loved before this game. Let's be honest. This game didn't introduce us to The Walking Dead. In some way, we like The Walking Dead, and it introduced us to this game. I mean, without it, what has Scopely got? Without the skin of The Walking Dead, this is just another clone. I mean, look at Scopely's other games. They don't do anything original. They do things other people are doing. At the heart, mobile games, except for those few that are innovative and really sort of change things for a while and become super popular, mobile games are just repetitive task vehicles that keep us interested by evolving gameplay and interesting events and building a community. But when no one's having fun and the events are just reduced to boredom, focused on money, and that same just repetitive gameplay, people lose interest. Like, interest is just lost. And I'm not saying there's nothing Scopely can do to prevent this death, but it's going to take a huge change from their current track record. And if they don't make changes, like drastic changes, if they don't, the only people that are going to be playing this game are the spenders who've just invested so much that they wouldn't just walk away. New players who don't know what the fuck is up with this game yet, and they'll quickly be gone. And then there's going to be a few handful of experienced players that are just around until something newer and more interesting grabs their focus. And I'm not saying that after all this I'm going to quit playing the game immediately, because, I do enjoy the community. I do like the gameplay and playing with some of my favorite characters from the comics. I do enjoy my faction and, the friends I've made in the game. I like the game in general. What I am saying, though, is I'm on the look for something new. And if I find it before Scopely unfucks theirself, I won't be around here to bitch anymore about this game. So, let me know if you have a game I should check out. And if maybe you know one that's going to release soon that I should keep my eye out for, go ahead and put that below in the comments. Also, comment on what you think about this, as, whether you think I'm on base or just completely crazy and just bitching. I can take it. Or, if you agree and you just don't like the way Scopely keeps treating us, whether you're, pay to play or not, or free to play. But as always, if you guys do enjoy, please like. And if you're new and you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. I'm still around. Till next time.